2 Steven Universe related videos back to back. I spoil you guys. Now, we're talking about Steven Universe comics again. I am going to be doing these every 2 weeks now. I know I said every week in the last one, but that's just too much, unfortunately. So every other week we're going to be doing one of these comic reviews, and I'm still super glad that we are, because this one was also pretty delightful. The art in this one is different. I definitely like it less, I think, than the art in the last few issues. But it's not bad. Like, it's just rougher. It's still recognizable as Steven Universe, and the characters are still fun and expressive. So I don't really have any issue with it. It's just not what I'm used to from this series. And just like the past few issues, this one explores an aspect of the show that isn't really explored enough in the show itself, in my opinion. That being what Lion gets up to when stuff isn't actively happening with him and the other characters. It starts out with Steven and Connie getting back to the house on Lion after a mission to stop a corrupted gem, and Lion just goes to lay under the porch like he usually does, and they speculate that he probably just stays there all day. But then as soon as they leave, he gets right back up, and he heads up to the house, and he discovers Amethyst there in her cat form, and he seems to think that she's like another gem animal, kind of like him, even though he's not really a gem, but you get what I mean. And so wants to play with her and starts licking at her and stuff, just doing cat stuff, and seems super happy until she turns back and he realizes that it's actually her. And there's a really cute interaction between her and Pearl that comes about because of this, that's instigated by this. But then while that's going on, he heads into the inner part of the temple, into Pearl's room, where he starts chewing on Pearl's swords, which leads to a cute interaction between the two of them. And she asked him to leave and not come back, please. It was very cute. But from there, he continues to pursue an animal. He sees another one of those gem lizards, which, it's about time we saw another one of those weird gem lizards, but he sees another one of those gem lizards as all this is happening, and continues to pursue it. And it's interesting, because after he seems to have lost track of the creature briefly, he seems to get, like, a sense that he needs to continue to pursue it. Like, maybe it's just him remembering that he was chasing after something. It's a little unclear, but, like, we have seen in the show, he has these senses to go after stuff. Like, that's a thing that's happened before. And the show just kind of dropped it. And it's really nice to see, if that's what's happening, them bringing it back up again here. Like, either way, this is an issue of the comic that deals with the life of Lion, which is a thing that the show did never really get into. But if this is them remembering that seeming power, habit, instinct of the character, that's even better. And it does seem to compel him one way or another into continuing to pursue this thing. He kind of lulled off for a second. And it's not really clear how he pursues it to the places he does. Maybe he's just checking places he knows. Because he ends up at Rose's Fountain first, where there's actually a really cute moment where he, like, looks over at one of the littler statues of Rose. Not really longingly, because he's a freaking lion, but it seems like, maybe he comes here to draw comfort from the place sometimes because she's not around anymore. He looks at his reflection in the water. It's very sweet. And then he moves on, right? And ends up at the barn, where he chases the thing into the garden, and it jumps onto Peridot's facehugger style. And then he ends up basically attacking Peridot, and it's another cute scene. And we get a really cute interaction between Peridot and Lapis, in the same vein as the scene between Amethyst and Pearl earlier that's also instigated by Lion's actions. But then he catches the thing, takes it back to the house. Garnet sees him having caught it, just gives him a thumbs up, which means that Garnet's aware that he gets up to all of this stuff pretty regularly. Then he throws the thing down, and seems to destroy it, and then just lays back down where he was under the porch in time for Steven and Connie to come back to the house, see him there, be like, yep, looks like we were right, he just stays here all day. And then for a second they're like, what if he has a double life like those pets on TV? But they're like, nah, and it's very cute. It's a very cute episode. And in a way, even though I don't think this weird lizard thing is actually dangerous, in any capacity, it means that Lion is trying to protect them throughout the day, and they just don't really notice, because most of the time he just cats around. Like, there was other stuff he did here, like he wanders into town and gets a lion liquor from Sadie and stuff like that too. Stuff that's, you know, not super important to the narrative of the actual comic, but speaks to the fact that most of the time he just cats around and does his version of cat things, right? And so even when he's not being particularly lazy, that's what most people see him doing most of the time. Like, it's unclear if he's, like, compelled to chase this creature or not, but it really does seem like he's trying to protect them from something that he sees as a threat. Like, I don't even know if this thing is threatening, but it seems to be something that maybe he sees as a threat. But there really is more to him, and that's something that the show implied for a while, but then just kind of dropped, and that always bummed me out. So it's nice to see it picked up here. I also, as I mentioned previously, really liked seeing that stupid gem lizard thing again, because we still don't know what that is, and just some acknowledgement of it is nice, right? It's weird though, because when Lion returns to the house with it and drops it at his feet and then like lays down on it or whatever happens in that final scene with the creature, it's a little unclear, but it almost seems like it poofed, which is contrary to what happened when we saw it last time, where he was like actually eating it, which suggests that this thing is some kind of gem animal, not like a corrupted gem, I don't think. Otherwise it would be kind of dark that he's eating it, and also it has multiple gemstones, and even corrupted gems don't have those. And also the gemstones seem to be part of its body because it wasn't left over. Like there were some feathers left over, just like when he was eating it the last time. But there wasn't like a gemstone left over that we could see. If it poofed. It's not even really clear if that's what happened. But if it did poof there, then that suggests that like maybe putting his full weight on it was enough to cause enough damage to its body to poof it, but eating it wasn't, which is just weird. Like it being half eaten wasn't enough to poof it. I don't know, it's maybe inconsistent, but it's nice to see this thing acknowledged again anyway. And considering the show never did anything with it, if the comics do something with this creature that makes sense, I don't mind letting the comics retcon this creature a little bit, frankly. But yeah, this was just another really fun, funny, wholesome outing for this comic book series. And I enjoyed it a lot. And I think it's safe to say at this point that this series has established itself as a series that deals with aspects of the show that the show just kind of stopped dealing with. And the more I think about that, the more excited I get. As per usual, though, guys, if you have read this issue of Steven Universe Ongoing, this is the 5th issue at this point. Yeah, the 5th issue at this point. What do you guys think of it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, you might as well like the video, share it with anyone else who you think would enjoy my content, subscribe. If you haven't, you can also check out links to my various social medias, as well as the many ways you can help out the channel. Those will be in the video description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.